Welcome everyone to this tutorial for WP Media Folder. WP Media Folder is a plugin created by JoomUnited and it is basically a media management plugin that helps you to sort your media library in the back end of WordPress. I use it on all of my client sites. It does help me to keep track of all of their media, create folders to keep everything organized, and also allows them to keep date-sensitive materials organized so that they can keep their media library to a smaller size. So the JoomUnited website has a number of different WordPress products. They also obviously create plugins for Joomla, but we're interested in WP Media Folder, which I have pulled up here on their website. So it's got some pretty decent features, and we'll go through some of those shortly, but I'll have some details in the links below for you to go and have a look at it and check out WP Media Folder for yourself. So let's get on to installing the plugin on this test website that I use to set up a lot of plugins and test them, and also to create tutorials for clients and also now for YouTube. So let's go to our plugins. If you don't know how to install a WordPress plugin, this will help you to figure that out, but there are plenty of Google options available if you want to have a look on how to install a plugin. But basically go to plugins, we click add new plugin, and then we're going to upload a plugin. You can search for plugins over here on the right, but we're going to upload a plugin. I'm going to go and find the JoomUnited WP Media Folder installable file, which is this one here. We'll install now. Now just remember, this is the pro version of the plugin, so I'm going to connect my JoomUnited account once the plugin is installed, and that basically gives you access to updates in the future. Okay, so I've activated the WP Media Folder plugin. Now, there is, if there was an update available, it would tell you down the bottom here where you would normally see an update with the yellow highlight in WordPress, and it would also ask you to connect your WP Media Folder account, which is on JoomUnited. That way you do get notified of updates and you can obviously keep the plugin up to date. It is a paid plugin. I don't believe there's a free version. I don't think there actually is, but you could definitely have a look at that on the WordPress repository. Anyway, so let's get on with this. So once you have installed the plugin, it does take you through a an installation wizard, which will help you get things set up. In the settings for WordPress, there are quite a lot of settings in the back end for WP Media Folder. So in the general main settings, and I'm not going to go through everything here because obviously that's going to make this tutorial hours and hours long, but for getting you started, the main things you do want to have turned on are the majority of these features. One of the most important, which can catch you out, it certainly did me when I first started using it, was this setting for WP Media Folder on the front end. If you don't have that turned on, you won't actually be able to see WP Media Folder folders if you're in a page builder like Elementor or Bricks or Oxygen or anything like that, Beaver Builder, etc. So make sure you have that switched on. Enabling the folder tree, we'll get to the folder tree shortly. Media count, it's a good idea to have that on. You can see how many pieces of media are in each folder. Override file actually allows you to replace, as the tooltip says, actually allows you to replace an existing file with another one. Hover image actually shows you a large thumbnail when you hover over the image in the library. Could be quite helpful if there's information you need to see. It can be a little bit annoying. You'll see that in a minute. You can turn it off if you don't particularly like it. Load GIF file on page load. So obviously that is automatically playing a GIF animation once a page loads. You can set it up to search file in a folder and subfolders if you wish to. I have that turned off at the moment. Enable a remote video feature, so you can actually add videos from various providers like YouTube, Vimeo, or Daily Motion. You can also set a default featured image, which is a great feature because normally that would involve an additional plugin or some code for your blog posts or anything else, pretty much. So in instances where you don't have a featured image to upload for a blog post, you can actually just let it automatically pull one out. Could be a site logo, could be a generic royalty-free image that suits the entirety of your site, etc. Then we have folder IDs. You can display that, I don't worry about it. Enable folders on the top of media. So that is in the main view. You can show the folders. It's kind of like breadcrumbs, basically. You'll see that in a minute anyway. Root media count, display the number of media available in the root folder. I don't have that on, I don't really care about it. You can duplicate files. You can have filtering and ordering. You can remove a folder and its media. You can obviously delete all data on uninstall. That's a fairly common setting for a lot of WordPress plugins, and you can also enable the ability to download the original image, which is another great feature because you often will have to go into, like cPanel into a file manager, etc., or have a file manager plugin installed for WordPress in order to download the media. So that's a pretty good feature. Saves you another plugin. So once you've got it set up as you want to, obviously click Save Changes. Folder settings, open the sidebar minimized. We'll look at that in a second. I generally have that turned off because I'd like my folders to all be open, basically. You can also have folders for your pages. Obviously, this site uses Cadence theme, so I'm not going to worry about folders for navigation or scheduling. You can also activate folders for posts if you wish. So some really good features here. It's very similar to Happy Files in a lot of ways. I used to use Happy Files, and it is still a great plugin, and I think Thomas has done a great job with it, although I don't think there's been much development recently. But I just found that on some sites it had some interesting issues, whereas I don't seem to have those with WP Media Folder. Anyway, Happy Files is another one for you to try out if you don't think that WP Media is going to suit your purposes. So anyway, now that we've had a very quick look here, we're not going to worry about going through all these others. You can have a look on the JoomUnited website to check out what all these features are actually for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go across to the media library, and we'll see how WP Media Folder sets up our media library. So you can instantly see that there is a difference. Normally in your media library, you're just going to see all these thumbnails, or if you switch to the list view, you're obviously just going to see a list of your files. I'm going to go back to the thumbnail view. That's the one I prefer. So immediately you can see there's a difference here because we have a sidebar which has our media library, which is the root folder of our media library. You have an add new folder button, and you have a search folders field. Now this is searching in folders, and as you saw in the settings, you can actually get it to search for things in the subfolders, etc. But it's not the same as searching for media over on the right hand side here, which is the standard WordPress search for your media library. So when you're sitting on media library here, let's say we want to add a folder. I think what we'll do is we'll add some folders for logos because we have a few, and you can see here's this hover show thumbnail feature, which, I'm not sure that I like it that much. It's a little bit annoying, I think. So I generally will have that switched off. But, if you've got an image and you're not sure, let's say you've uploaded a couple that, might have slight differences, and you're not sure, it might be useful to be able to look at the two and compare. But it's entirely up to you. Anyway, I'm going to create a logos folder. So I'm going to click Add New Folder. I'm going to call it Logos. and that will appear as a subfolder of our media library. And you can see it has folder indication, the name of the folder, and it currently has 0 pieces of media sitting in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bulk select some items. I'm just going to go through and select all these logo files. I'll select that one as well, and probably the 2 frogs. And then all you need to do is basically drag those files over across to your folder, the folder that you want them to end up in, and you can see that it immediately increases the count to 10. So, and the other thing that it does, which Happy Files does not do, is that it actually removes them from the media library root folder here and actually only displays them in the logos folder, or the folder that you've put them into. I kind of like that feature because sometimes with Happy Files, when you click on the media library and you see the root folder, it's still got, it doesn't actually physically move the materials in this view, if you get what I mean. It actually still shows everything in the media library, which I think could be a little problematic if you've got a lot of files. So one of the other things that I do like to do with clients is to create a, let's say they have a blog on their website, create a blog folder. Now the important thing to remember is that when you're creating a new folder, you need to make sure if it's going to be a subfolder of the root, so a subfolder of the media library, you need to actually be on media library when you add the new folder. Because if you're on, say, logos, and I click add a new folder, and let's just call this 10-02, what will happen is that will become a subfolder of logos, and you can see I now have this little little arrow to open up the folder, and you can see I have a subfolder here. So just remember, if you're creating a folder in the root of the media library, you want to make sure you have media library highlighted first. So I'm just going to right click on that, and I'm going to delete. So you can see we have quite a few options here. We can rename, we can delete, we can bulk select folders, we can download a zip of the folder, which is a great feature, and you can also download a zip of the folder and any subfolders. You can change the color, so you can color code your folders if you want to. So, you know, if we want to make it blue, we can, or if we want to make it red, we can. So yeah, you can color code all your folders to make them stand out. Not sure I'd really waste time doing that, but there might be some reason for it, for the way you work. So I'm going to delete that folder now. What you'll find too is if you do have subfolders and you try to delete a parent folder, it actually will give you an error message and say you've got subfolders and they have stuff in them, so you might want to delete those first. So with the bulk select, if you click that, you obviously get some checkboxes, and then you can, you get this delete or cancel up the top here, so you can delete them. I'm just going to cancel it. But yeah, look, you can have a bit of a play with that. And obviously, if you right click on the blog folder, and let's create another folder here, it will actually create the folder within the blog folder. So that's a way around having to reselect the media library. So if you're on logos and you want to do a new subfolder in media library, is to right click it and just say new folder, and the new one will become a parent folder within the root folder. So in terms of the way I get clients, I'm just going to delete this folder, to work with their blog, is if they have blog posts that have images that will be perpetual, so they can stay on the site forever, then what I do with them is I encourage them either to just put them in blog or create a folder for the particular blog post. That way it's really easy to navigate to anything that you might like to have a look at or change or replace. And also, if you have, say, blog posts that have an expiry date, what I encourage clients to do is to create folders within the blog folder that actually pertain to that post that has an expiry date. So let's say we're going to do a new folder. Let's say we do a blog post for let's say for ladies makeup, and expiry let's go 10th of March 25. So we're going to do that, create that. It'll become a subfolder in the blog, and then you can see that it actually has an expiry date, which means once that blog post has actually expired, you can actually go in and delete the media and manage the size of your folders on your server. So if you start to run out of server space, really good way to make sure that you don't have stuff on there that you no longer need. And as you can see, I mentioned it earlier, we have breadcrumbs up the top here, which shows you which folder you're currently looking in, and it also shows you your subfolders. So you can click on your subfolders. We've got nothing in there obviously, but logos, obviously all our images have moved to there. So yeah, look, really it's up to you to be creative to figure out the best way to work with WP Media Folder. It's a really, really good plugin. I really like it. I think it's got some great features. I'll be interested in your comments. Leave them below, and don't forget, if you're interested in more tutorial videos or reviews on plugins like this, which I will be adding more and more in the future, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, and also get your notifications with the bell, and yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy the content that I create. Anyway, this is Phil from CBandC Web Design. Thanks for watching.